Jing Yueqi's face turned pale. She quickly said, "Madam Zhao, Chen is still young. He only spoke out of anger. Please, don't take it seriously." But Madame Zhao's eyes were cold and sharp. "Young, if I remember correctly, Chen is already 16. He failed the awakening ceremony again, and instead of working hard, he caused fights in the academy. That has brought shame to the Qin family. And now he dares to speak rudely to his elders? What punishment does that deserve?" Jing Yueqi froze, her heart filled with worry. But Qin Chen suddenly raised his head, his gaze calm yet piercing. "What about you, Madame Zhao? You allow servants to insult members of the Qin family? Is that the so-called family rule?" "You!" Madame Zhao's face darkened. She hadn't expected him to fight back with words. Qin Chen's voice grew colder. "And more than that, as the lady of this household, you meet in private with Zhao Qirai, who is known all over the capital for his bad reputation. Is that what you call virtue?" The room fell silent. Zhao Qirai, who had been smirking, instantly turned red with anger. His eyes, full of desire, flickered with embarrassment. "You little brat!" Madame Zhao trembled with fury. "How dare you speak such nonsense? Guards, take him down!" The two guards rushed forward, one on each side. "Don't you dare touch my son!" Jing Yueqi cried, trying to block their path. But before they could reach her, Qin Chen's figure flashed. The guards froze in shock. A sword was already in his hands, its cold edge gleaming. His eyes shone with a terrifying light, as if he was no longer the weak boy they remembered. One step forward, a single strike. In an instant, the guards staggered back, fear filling their hearts. They realized this young man, who once seemed powerless, now carried an aura so sharp it felt like facing death itself. The room fell into silence, broken only by Madame Zhao's trembling voice. You dare raise your hand inside the Qin family mansion?" Qin Chen stood tall, sword in hand, protecting his mother. His voice was steady, every word filled with icy determination. "Whoever dares to touch my mother will pay the price." Qin Chen's voice was steady, every word like thunder in the silent room. He stood with his sword in hand, cold and unshakable, as if a shadow of death itself had appeared. The room froze. Servants who had been peeking from outside held their breath, fear written all over their faces. Rouge, who had mocked Jing Yueqi earlier, trembled uncontrollably. Even the guards felt their bodies stiffen, sweat running down their foreheads. They had thought Qin Chen was nothing but a powerless boy, but now the air around him carried a pressure none of them could deny. But this was only the beginning of his awakening. In the DINGWU continent, strength was everything. Warriors were divided into stages, from pulse condensation to human level, then beyond. Even reaching the human level was considered stepping into the path of a true warrior. These guards were trained fighters, each one confident in his skills, yet one had already fallen in front of this boy. How could a fallen young master possess such terrifying power? Madame Zhao was the first to break free from shock. Rage twisted her face as she shouted, "Qin Chen, you dare act violently inside the Qin family mansion? Guards, seize him immediately and punish him according to family rules." Her voice rang like thunder, shaking the servants around her. But little did she know, her order would unleash something even more shocking. One of the remaining guards gritted his teeth and finally moved. He drew his sword in a flash, his eyes sharp like a hunting wolf. His body lunged forward like a cheetah, his blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. This was the Qin family's famous technique, flying dragon swordplay. Among its forms, the one he unleashed now was the most feared. Poisonous dragon spits mist. The blade shimmered with dangerous light, as if a venomous dragon were striking out of the shadows. His intent was clear. He didn't plan to kill Qin Chen outright, but to cripple him, to prove that the boy's defiance would never be tolerated. Yet, at this very moment, Qin Chen revealed the true edge of his destiny.